Hey bunnies, welcome back to Game Developer Diary Day 6. Let's go with 6. Days are all blending together now. When we last left off, I was looking at the boss mechanics. I think it's a little bit of a daunting task at the moment. I'm still relearning kind of how Unity and how C# works. But I don't want to focus too hard on these boss mechanics at the moment. I do want to focus on this ethereal and corporeal form, and maybe have a little tinkering with our player. So if you didn't know, this scene is my testing area at the moment. This isn't where the game's going to be set. Obviously, this would be a terrible place for me to set a game at, right? So at the moment we've got these light things. I shut them all off, but this is just our testing area. This is a little plane where we can go, okay, what happened here, right? So what I want to do is make it so I can turn off the light. Crouching, running are both important things specifically for this game. I think crouch walking is going to have less noise. So we want to code, hang on, more stuff for the goblin. Let's actually remove this completed thing, because that's all the stuff we were going to do. So that's all completed. Now we want to add another thing to the goblin, and the thing is the goblin radius noticing. So what we want is to do for the goblin, we want to have notice player when it enters radius. This will be a different radius, of course. And then on top of that, also notice player if it is hit by light. So the light is like going to be separate entity from the actual goblin, in the sense that it'll enrage them a little faster, but it'll also make them fear. So to start that off, I guess this is probably our easiest thing to do. So we'll start on this first, the easy stuff that we know kind of how to do. We'll chuck that in there first, and then if we have time, we'll do the harder stuff, like the crouching and the corporeal ethereal form. I'm gonna chuck the corporeal and ethereal form on the goblin handler, and try and do nothing to do with goblins. So then when I get to the boss, I can just do that shifting whenever I want, Okay, so this public will be notice player. I'll make that false. We'll give that a bool. Okay, so that's notice player equals true as soon as it's hit by a light, right? Then let's just try this. So if the player is unaware and notice player equals notice player, right? What happens now? Yep, nothing's moving. And if there we go. Now they're moving towards us. Okay, so now they know that I'm in the vicinity and they're going to move towards us. Exactly what you want. Now, obviously on top of that, we already know the distance between these two, right? So what if I change that to else if kill distance is less than, what's our radius for the light? 55? Less than like 30, right? So it's less than 30, then obviously notice player will equal true because we got close. Let's try this. It's distance instead of radius. Get away. Okay, now these. Dang it. I hit him with the ray. I might change the goblin to 40. There you go. Okay. So it's pretty close before it realizes we're there. And it's going to be like in the dark. So that's kind of what we want, right? Cool. That is literally all we need to do for the goblin. So now if it has like a focusing, it'll tell me when something is in the area. Now we need a light switch, right? How about we change like a if statement? We'll change input dot get button press. Should it be a click, like off on, or do you reckon holding it to turn it off when you're hiding, right? So like instead of turning off your light, you'll like cover your light. I'll switch it off for now, right? Okay, is it get button press or get button press? I always forget. Get mouse button down. is apparently a thing. I spelled mouse button wrong, don't worry about it. Curly brace, curly brace. So that'll press our toggle toggle light. I don't know how switches work. I've always wondered. I learnt it for a little bit in like an online course, and I just got so confused about like how why you would use them versus a if statement, because they are just if statements. They're just visually different, right? Don't know. Okay, we'll do that, and we'll change this so we don't have to write input mouse button again. If light on, not light on. Okay, light on equals false. Light on equals true. And it's a toggle, so that's good. That checks if the light is on and if the ray cast stuff, and light on. Right, so that'll do the raycast, and it will also check if the light is on. If the light is not on, it will not check. This will also have to public game object light torch, let's call it, and this has to be capitaled. Torch equals game object dot find with name torch. Oh, it's not find. Find with name isn't a thing. It's find or find with tag, right? Light on does not exist in the current context. Oh, because I didn't actually do it. Okay, so light on should start off true. Public bool, light on, light on. Okay, we'll change the name of this to torch then, for now. And our main camera has torch. Unity is enabled. I can't remember exactly how that worked. The Unity API is like so slow at searching things. Set active. Cool. So it's set active. Okay, torch turns on and off. Nothing happens when I look at them, and then phew, get out of here. So as you can tell, there is a lot of stuff that's like very easy to do. Like this was what, 6 lines of code. There was really nothing like wrong as far. Wait, what's happened? I was eaten. There's really nothing. Nothing went wrong there, like error-wise, except for forgetting to put this in. So like, you know, turning a game object on and off, for instance, a light, very easy to do, especially like doing like switches. So there's that. And they don't look visually appealing, but they're like easy to do, you know? And like anything from the sake of like hiding things, for instance, by turning them off and then turning them on when they are needed, because all this does, like, so if I turn this off, right? Oh, it's full screening, hang on. I'll turn off the full screen for now. I'll click play. The torch is not enabled, but everything like it's transform and like all of its data is still there. So it's very good for just like hiding something and enabling it. It's just very simple enabling triggers and things like that. Like that's very, you know, Warcraft 3 map editor. Once again, I'm showing my age. Yeah, so that's all done. Completed. All that is completed. All good. I do want to change it so the killing player is not always a thing that happens, and the running towards player is not always a thing that happens. And what I want to do for that is maybe during these not radius things, these are, I need to change that too. I forgot to change that. I'll sort it out. Maybe I'll sort that out off camera, because that's one of those things that, like, you know, it's easy to do and I can just show you. Like, it's not easy, like it's a lot of just figuring out stuff. I can't look anything up to just go, how do I fix this piece of code? I would have to like actually post something and have someone like look at it for me. And I can do it myself. I just need to figure out what I'm doing with it and how to change it. I'm going to change it up and put comments in it. And then I can just show you guys like, this was the original code. This is the code that isn't shit. Okay, so the look away is what I was going to do. So like basically this slow walk, which is moving towards the player, what I would do is if like y equals 1 and x equals 5, right? And then I would have a math randomizer, so it'll just be like, okay, every time you run this code, choose a number from 1 to 5. If the code is 5, like wait and try slow walking again. But if the code is anywhere like 1 to 4, do it again. If it's 5, run, kind of thing. So like every 1 in 5 chance, there is a chance of moving forward, and now we want it to move forward fast than it is. So it'll move forward faster, but it won't always move forward when you're looking away from it, which gives it a little bit more sneakiness. Like you look at it and it's like closer to you, but it's not moving forward, and it's just kind of chilling there like, Okay, I'll do the randomizer thing maybe some other time. So I'm gonna put like randomize if it moves towards player or not. Now, one thing, make sure Goblin can choose between multiple player objects. Okay, I can't type today. This is also going to be a shorter episode, I think, today because I'm a little. The boss is daunting. Okay, I'll say it. The boss is scaring me. One thing that I want to do, right? So let's chuck a code in. Let's give a thing. We'll call it void object form. Is it mathf.random, or is that just Python maths for a math? When you just type in math in Google and it's okay, so there is a function called random, and math is for something else. X equals random.range 0 to 5. Okay, so I'm gonna change it to the light when the light hits them. Okay, so what I need a bool f form. Sure, why not? So at the moment it's false. There's no ethereal form, right? But there's a chance that there will be if x equals 0, f form equals true. I guess else f form equals false, right? Okay, and then what I would need to do is I would change the fear so that if it equals true and f form is not a thing, I can actually change that now. That doesn't need to be true. That doesn't need to be true. Else if, let's just do this to like check that it's working, I guess. Should I even like put object form into the slow walk, which was the whole reason for this? No, I did not. Okay, it needs to be way that slow walk. Okay, I'm not doing the right thing. I think it's object form. Okay, it's working. There you go. Yeah. Okay. So like that's the thing. Basically, it's not hitting it if it's ethereal. So this object form thing is working. I mean, what I'll do is I will remove. Actually, I will remove the ethereal form as a system because these goblins will not be ethereal at any point. They will always stay there the way they are. What I'll do is I'll remove object form from slowwalk. I will create a new script on a new game object. Will be a sphere. Sphere will have a collider. The sphere will also have a rigid body, not a 2D one though, a regular one. Where's this sphere? But it's tiny. It's tiny. It needs to be huge. Is what I need it to be. Now I will add a new script to it. I will call it boss behavior. Boss baby behavior. Now this goblin handler has proven that object form currently works. So we'll put that in there. Put object form up here. We want to steal the goblin's fear system. So I can actually remove all of this, actually. Basically this fear thing, if a light hits it, if x equals da-da-da, we'll do a debug.log again. Yeah, already kind of just object form. What did I call that then? F form. Sorry, I should have looked at it here because it's there. Should be already done. Yeah, that's all fixed. There we go. System.boolean. Perfect. Okay, we can change it to if x and f form. Maybe else if not f form. Wait, hang on. This should be not, and this should be true. Debug.log see-through. That's what it is right now. Even though you can't see it, that is exactly how it's functioning. I'm dumb. Let's just put object form here. There we go. Splitting through them. You can see that it's sometimes hitting, sometimes not hitting. Okay, so we've got this. This random range isn't going to be useful forever, because obviously there's going to be a reason that it's going to do that. it will still be random, but we'll change the statistics for it, the like parameters for randomizing it. So if it's during if it's in the middle of doing an attack, it will not put ethereal form on. We'd have to randomize the attack though. Okay, so currently we've got the ghosting. Probably put a I don't know, a little disclaimer, I guess, on the side of that, which says like randomly occurs in between attacks. For this ghosting thing that walks through a wall, it won't happen all the time. It'll happen like at some point during attacks if you get too far away, I guess. The invulnerability happens at random. Okay, you know what? There was an ability. I think it was 5 abilities that I had thought up. So there's a scream, there's a vulnerability, there's the ghosting, and then there was like a turns, I don't know what you call it, I guess charge would be what we can call it. And we would have it so it walks back, turns corporeal, and then charges at player. There's a scream, which again, it's like a random thing, but it has to be in range, right? So it has to be random in range. The charge is kind of like an anytime thing, because it walks back and then it attacks. I also wanted like a kind of projectile attack. I can't remember what that projectile attack was going to be. But yeah, those are the 2 unknown abilities that I couldn't remember and couldn't find in the last episode. Honestly, didn't do much. We made the goblins turn corporeal. We made the goblins react to your light behavior. That was a thing. I was worried about the boss because the boss isn't, the boss is going to have a bit of an issue with the light, and I'm going to have to turn off the light and on the light. I remember there was an ability that I wanted to do with the boss. So at the moment we've got these 2 enemies, right? We've got 1 enemy, which is the goblins, and that's like, oh shit, this thing is scary, it's chasing me very slowly. It's not like a fear thing, it's more like that thing's in the corner of my eye and it can kill me if I'm not careful kind of thing, in the same way that like weeping angels are not that scary when there's only 1 of them, but you get 2 of them, that's when you're fucked. And then we've got the boss, which is the end game. So what I want to do, there's only 1 mechanic in this game. Well, there's probably going to be 2 or 3 mechanics in this game, but one of them is the light source being a weapon for you, and also a hindrance. So being able to turn off the light, it was a really important part of this episode, because I want it so at some point, and maybe if we add another enemy, and maybe the boss can have moments where if the light is shining on it, it will actually attack you rather than run away from you. And the same with if I add another enemy, it'll try and attack you with the light, constantly shining light at everything and going, oh, look at that, look at that, look at that. You're actually going, okay, this is a weapon to use against certain enemies, and other enemies will actually attack you if it's on. So you've got to like turn it off, turn it off, crouch. So the light, important part of this episode. Goddamn boss behavior is beginning. We actually should probably, so what I'll do is I'll make the functions that we need to do, right? This is the boss behavior, right? We have to figure out what all these can do. A lot of it will be a lot of coroutines with like speed things. So after a time, it'll like reset. You get your chance to like kind of take a breather while the thing's about to attack you again. It'll have a random chance of doing some of them. Like for instance, if Scream is in range, if Scream is in range and projectile attack is in range, it might randomize between the 2, or it might like skip a turn and like go back a bit more, that kind of thing, And then what I'll do is I'll just have like a handler to handle all these functions coming into it, and then that'll be chucked onto the update function at the end, with a kind of other variables that may need to be added like near the end kind of thing. Like maybe if I'm in the middle of a cutscene and the boss is there, it won't attack. Not that I will have any cutscenes, or maybe like a dialogue scene, not sure. Or like, yeah, maybe I'll have the notes that I wanted them to collect. That is something that we need to do, actually. I might write that in here. We've got the player, which now we can turn off light. We can't crouch or run yet. Those are things that aren't too hard though. Run is list. All I would do is, if I'm holding shift, I would either change it to max speed, or I would times speed by 2, and then when I let go of shift, actually I'll do that just before we end. So basically, if input dot get button down, so it's get button, it'll be run. We need to go into here, and if you are not aware, this is how you assign stuff. Project settings, inputs, we've got size 18, we've got horizontal, vertical, fire, jump, change that to 19. Cancel button is now the run button. Positive button is now shift. So now, this is me slow walking. Whoa, this is me fast walking, never mind. Confused. Firstly, this should be 3. But secondly, the fuck? I'm so confused about what's happening right now. Is it the is it this thing? But hang on, positive button didn't work. Left shift. That's why it didn't work. I see. Oh, it's okay, it's a space. So it didn't tell me it was a space, but it's a space. Okay. No, why are you so fast? Chill. Oh, I remember. So I've got it moving at, oh, that was 10, wasn't it? So that's 10, that's 5, right? So slow, and then double speed, right? That's the slow. Is it gonna work now? Please be the end. Okay, it is running. What I think I want to do is change it to, okay, it's definitely running. I might actually change it to like 2 finally. I'll see how it goes. So it's pretty slow. And then we run. Yeah, okay, that's good. We might want some kind of like head bob while running system. I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but heck, I wanna do that. So running, our last thing we did today. Cool, we did a few things. I thought we weren't going to, but we got a few things done. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bunny out.